Hello! This is Gyaru Vocabulary for Dummies, including every substyle and related term that I could think of. So a substyle is a smaller style within a larger style that has unique characteristics while still sharing traits and relations to its overall style. For example, gyaru is typically identified by makeup, so a substyle within gyaru would fit the general makeup style, but its clothing and overall theme would be more specific. So we're starting with Agejo, meaning Ageha lady, and it's based off of Ageha magazine. It features anything that would be in Ageha, but it's most commonly known for the hostess look, which includes lingerie, lace, zebra print, hot pink and black, bows, florals, pearls, plaid, curly hair, Mars clothing, and just overall like skimpy outfits. Here are some examples, but it's not limited just to this. It can be a very broad substyle because it's just related to anything that would be in the magazine. Next is kyabajo, which is meaning kyabakura lady or hostess club lady, and it revolves specifically around hostess clothing. It's pretty related to Agejo. There would be pictures like these in Ageha magazines, but it's more specific to these longer gowns that hostesses will wear. But it's not limited just to long gowns, there's short ones too. Here are some examples. Next is amekaji gyaru, meaning American casual, and it's inspired by American street fashion, and it's known for bright colors, baggy pants, sneakers, belts, and a fun, decorative, casual look. It was also popular among gyaruo, and a notable brand that focused on amekaji is Coco Lulu, also known as Ko and Lu. Here are some examples. There are definitely also less colorful amekaji outfits, but the majority is very colorful. Next is hari gyaru, meaning hade, flashy. It's often like grouped or associated with amekaji, but it is also different. It's a style based on American and British styles, which feature also bright colors, a lot of pink and purple, bold prints, stripes, polka dots, animal print. You can see stars on the picture right there, with black accents, sporty looks. There's a bit more like of a girly pop punk influence in hari gyaru than compared to amekaji. Here are some examples. Next we have one gyaru, meaning older sister. It is a more mature and simple style of gyaru that often focuses on like brand names and wealthiness, or just overall looking more mature and older while still being fashionable. Here are some pictures. It's very like neutral colors, black, kind of an edgy look but not too edgy. Next we have ane gyaru, which also means older sister. It's similar to one, but it's like a rebellious version. Ane gyaru typically has an edgier, sexier, and darker look than one gyaru, and it can also lean into ora ora or raku gyaru. Here are some examples. Next we have mode gyaru. It comes from a French word for high fashion. It's very chic, classy, sleek, but still bold. I would describe it as like fancy, modern fashion mixed with gyaru. It features modern clothes, high-class looking bags and jewelry, sleek hairstyles, and simpler makeup. Here are some examples. Mode gyaru, I guess I don't have any like pictures here featuring that, but mode gyaru also typically has like brighter lip colors than other gyaru styles, which would go for like a nude or a pink or a white sometimes. Next we have ora ora gyaru, also known as baika gyaru. It's not only a Gyaru style, but it also has its own subculture called Ora-Ora-kei, related to yonggi and delinquent culture. And it's very rebellious and punk-like, featuring flashy jewelry, tracksuits, motorcycles, dark makeup, baseball caps, black, white, and gold color schemes, in general like American streetwear, but like edgier. Here are some examples. Yeah. Next we have Roku Gyaru. Rock Gyaru. It's a style inspired by rock music and the rock subculture. It features a lot of red and black, skulls, crosses, chokers, ripped leggings, colorful hair, dark makeup, and several other punk and sometimes emo elements. Here are some examples. Next we have Goshiku Gyaru, or Gothic Gyaru. It's similar to Roku Gyaru, but it's more focused on the goth subculture rather than the rock. However, there is a lot of crossover and similarity between the two. Here are some examples of like more gothic looks. Next we have Hime Gyaru, meaning princess. It features a lot of pink, frills, bows, pearls, florals, big hairstyles, and other girly and princessy things. Hime Gyaru did take some part in inspiring Lolita fashion, and often features Lolita dresses within the style, so a lot of Hime Gyarus wear Lolita dresses. So popular brands are Liz Lisa, Jesus Diamante, and La Pafe. Here are some examples. It doesn't only come in pink. You can wear Hime Gyaru in a wide variety of colors. Pink and blue are the most common though. You'll also see a lot of these like winter sweater dresses. They're just so cute. Next we have Hime Kaji, meaning princess casual, and it's a more like toned down and casual version of Hime Gyaru. It is also a style in itself, separate from Gyaru, but obviously still linked to it. Liz Lisa and Dear My Love are also very popular in Hime Kaji. So yeah, you can wear Hime Kaji without being Gyaru. It stands on its own. It'll still have links to the Gyaru subculture, but you can wear Hime Kaji without being Gyaru. Next, we have Roma Gyaru, short for romantic. Roma Gyaru is sort of a mix between Saike Gyaru and Hime Kaji, incorporating more browns and rustic themes, like a cottagey, rustic theme. Roma Gyaru can also be considered a trend within Hime Kaji, but obviously you can exclusively wear Roma Gyaru, but some people do consider it a trend within Hime Kaji. Here are some examples. Next we have Saike Gyaru, short for psychedelic, also known as retro American or boho or bohemian Gyaru, and it incorporates American bohemian style clothing, and it can also be thought of as a trend within Hime Kaji. Some people do consider it that, however you choose to think of it. You'll see a lot of these like headbands. Next we have B-gyaru, or B-gyaru, meaning black style. And it is said to be inspired by black and hip-hop culture, but it would often lean into cultural appropriation by wearing black hairstyles, makeup that made them look black, or blackfishing makeup, and behaving in a racist, stereotypical, sassy attitude that is usually attached to black women. Black gyarus have since reclaimed this substyle. Here are some examples. Next we have tsuyome gyaru, meaning strong or extreme. It's a large substyle that is often reminiscent of banba. Tsuyome gyaru typically features tanned skin, leg warmers, big colorful hair or just light colored hair, denim, animal print, gold accents, less colorful clothing, more neutrals, a lot of MC bling inspiration, crosses, flashy belts, dramatic eye makeup, and long nails. One notable brand is Dia. And also there is a gyarusa or Gyaru circle group called Black Diamond, who does tsuyome Gyaru style. Here's some examples. I mean, I think this is a pretty basic example. Like, it's not all animal print. I probably should have picked some with less animal print for more versatility, but there you go. Ganguro literally translates to blackface. It's often referred to as old school gyaru, and it was a rebellious fashion style from the 90s which featured colorful hair or lightened hair, tan skin, dramatic makeup, colorful Western clothing, and a less traditional lifestyle. More of like a party and a fun lifestyle. Yamamba and manba evolved from Ganguro, and these styles actually weren't considered gyaru until much later. Here's some examples. These styles weren't originally considered gyaru, but I think after a while, the outside media grouped them together because they both often like to tan their skin. So they just grouped the styles together and then they started merging on their own. Next we have Yamamba, Manba, and Banba. Yamamba meaning mountain hag, which is an old Japanese folklore character, and Manba are mainly known for extremely dark tans contrasted with white makeup along with bright hair and clothing. Yamamba was the first to evolve from Ganguro and then evolved into Manba. Yamamba was a rebellion against Japanese society, and they would try to make themselves look shocking and stereotypically unattractive. Some would even sleep on the streets and go without showering. Generally, Manba is just a shortened name and a more developed version of Yamamba. Furthermore, Banba, Barbie Manba, is an even more toned down version of Manba, often very similar looking to tsuyome Gyaru. Here are some examples. We have Yamamba, which is typically the most dark and extreme, then Manba, and then Banba, which is the most toned down version. I put a note at the bottom. I want to say it is not okay to tan your skin dark like this, like extremely darker than your original skin tone. The general rule is to stay within 2 to 3 shades darker than your natural skin tone, even if you're trying to follow the Manba style. The act of extremely darkening your skin is insensitive, offensive, and can be considered blackface even in the context of Manba. Next we have Romamba, romantic Manba, which mixes Manba with a more girly, sweet, and pink look. It was almost exclusively worn by Katan from Egg magazine. However, Gyaru still like to bring back this style. Next we have Cyber Gyaru, which is a newer substyle founded by an Instagram model called Dere, according to the Gyaru Wiki. Cyber Gyaru often features neon-colored clothing and hair, futuristic themes, Manba reminiscent makeup, long nails, and tropical themes. It can also, some people say it's similar to harajuku and banba in general. Here are some examples. Very cute. Next we have Amuro Gyaru, also known as Amura. Amura was a style based on J-pop singer Namie Amuro that helped pave the way to what would become Gyaru fashion. Amuro wore tan skin sometimes, not always, light hair, Western clothing, and overall bold and trendy Western look. And Japanese youth began dressing like her, and wearing Western clothing was very popular. Here are some examples. This is just pictures of Namie Amuro in some different outfits. She wore a lot of different styles of clothing that can fit several substyles of Gyaru. So next, I'm going to talk about some other related terms. There are several other Gyaru related terms that can be mistaken as substyles, especially overseas. So I'm going to try to go over all the ones that I can think of. First we have Gyaruo, which just means Gyaru man. It's the male counterpart to the Gyaru subculture. It was a term to call male gyarus, but now generally describes masculine gyaru fashion. Gyaruo has its own set of substyles and culture, but gyaru and gyaruo can be worn by any gender identity. So you can be a boy and wear gyaru, and you can be a girl and wear gyaruo. And all of the other genders as well. Here are some examples. They can range from less colorful to more colorful, lots of different clothing. I don't know any of the gyaruo substyles, but yeah, here are some pictures of gyaruo. Next we have neo-gyaru, which means new. It's a phrase that refers to modern gyaru subculture and fashion. The style attached to it changes as current fashion trends evolve. So like 10 years ago, neo-gyaru would look like the picture on the left, but nowadays neo-gyaru would look like the picture on the right. Next we have the terms kuro, black, and shiro, white gyaru. These would refer to gyarus that would tan their skin versus gyarus that would not. These terms came to be when it was a very popular opinion that someone could not be gyaru without tanning their skin, which nowadays is generally more like, of course you can be gyaru without tanning your skin. There's several substyles that don't require tan skin, and there's still gyaru, but some people do still hold the opinion that you have to tan your skin to be gyaru, which, just like what other people think, doesn't matter. Now these terms are usually used to separate substyles that typically tan from styles that don't. Like tsuyome usually has tan skin, so they call tsuyome a kuro gyaru substyle, and Agejo typically does not tan, so they would call that like a shiro gyaru substyle. Next we have ishoku hara, which literally means unique skin or unusual skin. It's a newer trend that involves colorful skin paint, kind of looking like an alien, and it can be worn outside of gyaru, so you can be not a gyaru and still wear ishoku hara, because it just means like painting your skin. And it can be worn with any substyle, so you could paint your skin orange and wear himekaji. Next we have kigurumi or kigurumi, which means onesie or onesie tribe. And it's a trend of wearing these fun little onesies with fashion. In this case, gyaru fashion. But it's also not unique to gyaru, and other subcultures, particularly in the 2000s, would wear kigurumis with styles like decora as well. Next we have gaijin gyaru, which means foreigner gyaru, and it just refers to gyarus who are not from or don't live in Japan. So on the right here, it's a group of gyaru who I believe are in Germany. Next we have nanchate kogal, which means fake kogal or not really a kogal, and it basically just refers to a gyaru wearing a nanchate seifuku, which means fake uniform, to look like a kogyaru, which is a high school age gyaru. Nanchate seifuku are worn outside of the gyaru community as well. It's a very common thing actually to wear a nanchate seifuku, especially outside of gyaru. So now I'm going to go over the gyaru age categories, which mostly aren't really real and aren't really used by actual gyarus. I mean, like, they might have like popped up just like as a phrase within a magazine or a post, but younger people wanting to get into gyaru seem to really like using these age category terms, so I guess I'll mention them. And these only describe age, so whatever age category it is can be involved with any substyle. So first is chibi gyaru, meaning small gyaru. Typically refers to children ages 12 and below who are in elementary school. Mago gyaru, or grandchild gyaru, which refers to like a tween or a preteen gyaru who isn't in high school yet, typically ages 12 to 15. Kogyaru, or kogal, high school gyaru, which is a teenage gyaru who is in high school, typically ages 15 to 18. And oba gyaru, which means grandmother gyaru or just an old woman gyaru. And I would say it refers generally to women who are above middle age and wear gyaru. if you have fun using these, if you're 13 and you want to say I'm a mago gyaru, you have fun with that, you know? So I'm gonna mention the kogao confusion because I used to be very confused about this as well. I used to argue that kogao was a substyle because it described this specific look of the school uniform with the cardigan and the loose socks and other gyaru elements. But those aren't specific to gyarus or like kogals either. Several non-gyaru teens also wore cardigans and loose socks and makeup and other accessories with their uniforms, and they were not gyarus. And a kogao can also wear any substyle of gyaru, so they might not even be wearing a uniform and they're still a kogyaru because they are a teenager. What makes someone a kogao is age and whether or not they are a gyaru, which is typically defined by makeup. Like, as long as you are in high school and you are a gyaru, you are a kogao. And you can also be like a kogao who is also a roku gyaru, or a kogao who is also a tsuyome gyaru. Or you can be a kogyaru who's wearing a nunchatte seifuku, because not every kogyaru has a uniform for their school. So even kogaos can be wearing fake uniforms. It's literally just to describe how old a gyaru is. And that's all that I have. I don't have an ending slide. If I forgot anything, if I got anything wrong, I have a comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.